Who is in charge of the clattering train? The axles creak and the couplings strain, and the pace is hot and the points are near, and sleep hath deadened the driver's ear, and the signals flash through the night in vain, for death is in charge of the clattering train. That's a poem from the 30s that was quoted by Winston Churchill in his book, The Gathering Storm. And Madam President, I rise today in the wake of a terrible tragedy of a clattering train where death was in charge, one that left more than 60 people missing, 20 confirmed dead, and has devastated a community. But despite the magnitude of this amazing loss, it's also a story of human heroism at its highest level. I'm referring, Madam President, to a horrific accident that occurred early last Saturday morning when a 72-car train carrying crude oil derailed in Lac-Mégantic, Quebec, near the border of western Maine. As the train erupted into all-engulfing flames, it came crashing into the town, demolishing everything in its path. Cars and buildings were instantly incinerated, pavement on the roads literally melted away, and sidewalks crumbled from the intense heat and pressure. As a result, nearly a full 6 city blocks were completely leveled, forcing almost 2,000 residents to flee their homes, a third of Lac-Mégantic's total population. And Madam President, while local Canadian firefighters battled the flames valiantly, and I mean valiantly, it became clear that they desperately needed support. So after receiving a call at 4 a.m., 30 firefighters from Rangeley, Farmington, Phillips, Strong, New Vineyard, and Chesterville, all wonderful small Maine towns, as well as the town of Eustis, arose from their sleep, rushed to their engines, and drove 83 miles nonstop, arriving at 6 a.m. to help extinguish this horrendous blaze. And it's worth noting, Madam President, that except for the chief, every firefighter who made this journey and put their lives at risk, every single one that morning was a volunteer, serving and risking their lives of their own choice and volition. And upon arrival, their efforts had immediate impact. They quickly realized that there was a desperate need for water. And because the town lacked a hydrant system, they swiftly turned their attention to a lake 3,000 feet away and began to pump water using an extraction skill that Maine firefighters are specifically taught and trained to use. They continued to pump water from that lake for 21 straight hours. Mr. President, let's put that in perspective for a moment. For almost the entire next day, those brave men and women, driven by an incredible spirit of perseverance and self-sacrifice, worked tirelessly to extinguish the blaze and gain control of the burning train cars. Fire Chief Timothy Pellerin of Rangeley Station said everyone was hugging and cheering to celebrate their miraculous success when the fire was brought under control. It was like a ball team after a win, he said. And the Canadians, overwhelmed by the selflessness and courageousness of those volunteer Americans, thanked them for their steadfast determination to see the crisis through. Residents of Lac-Mégantic and local firemen were coming up to one of the Rangeley fire trucks, asking to have their picture taken with the American flag attached to the safety bar and pausing to touch it as a sign of their respect and gratitude. After returning home late Sunday afternoon, Chief Pellerin said he has never been more proud to be from Maine or from America and to be a firefighter. We still don't know the full scope of the devastation wreaked by this gruesome event. The cleanup and recovery costs will undoubtedly be astronomical, as well as the traumatic impact on the community upon which no dollar estimate can be placed. Initial reports indicate that at least up to 1.2 million gallons of crude oil spilled into the streets, basements of houses, storm drains, and contaminated that nearby lake. Currently, over 200 criminal investigators are sifting through the charred remains of what might be North America's worst railway disaster. And I sincerely hope that through their efforts, we will be able to better understand the causes of this horrible tragedy and perhaps, more importantly, how it can be prevented in the future. But Madam President, my real reason for rising today is to honor those volunteer firefighters from Maine, true American heroes who embody the best this country has to offer. They were called into action by their unwavering sense of civic duty. And throughout the night, they overcame tremendous odds, including a language barrier and a lack of resources, to finally help extinguish the fire early Sunday morning. These brave Mainers showed true strength of character that enabled them to overcome fear in pursuit of the greater good. It is without a doubt that their actions saved countless lives, and we owe these American heroes our enduring gratitude. My thoughts and prayers remain today with those who are impacted by this tragic event. To go back to the words that Churchill quoted so long ago, who is in charge of the clattering train? The axles creak and the couplings strain and the pace is hot and the points are near and sleep hath deadened the driver's ear and the signals flash through the night in vain, for death is in charge of the clattering train. Death was in charge of the clattering train that dark night, but the perseverance, skill, and courage of those firefighters from Maine and their brave Canadian counterparts could not prevent a tragedy, but at least contained and controlled it. Madam President, this is the best of America. I yield the floor and suggest the absence of a quorum.